How's it going, friends? My name is Fringy. It's September 5 and welcome to System Update for the week's gaming news and discussion. So this week has been filled with complete fuckery and everybody treating gamers like assholes and complete shit when in reality, the only shit-shucking fuckwits are those pricks. A bunch of developers signed a letter asking gamers to end the hate. They say it's in response to general arsehole behavior, racism, and sexism, which I can agree with, but let's not sugarcoat it. This was really in response to what I consider to be the justified backlash against Zoe Quinn, games media, and Anita Sarkeesian lately. All guilty parties in acting like fucking assholes and spreading misinformation. IGN published an article defending Anita Sarkeesian and it was complete shit. After people started rating the comments, IGN started deleting posts which led to more drama and now everything's turned to complete shit. So this is my full depth analysis of the whole fucking situation. This is going to be long. So for those of you who don't know, Anita Sarkeesian is a modern day feminism person. Now, the reason why I apply modern day feminism is because modern day feminism is not the same as feminism of older times. Feminism in the 1970s was good because at that time, women were basically getting fucked in the ass and they needed to get equal rights, which I can agree with. And right now, we still don't really have equal rights for everybody. I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm all for equal rights and equal opportunity, but Anita Sarkeesian is a fucking idiot, okay? She is stupid. The things she says are just outright insane, and she's so careful with her words that a lot of people who don't fucking think get deceived by the bullshit she says. One of the things that I hate about her is the fact that she's gotten so many people on her side, and she's made everybody who's against her into the enemy. Basically, when it comes to mainstream media and games media, everybody's on her side. Josh Whedon is on her side, all of these fucking websites are on her side, fucking YouTube is on her side. And basically now, all gamers are being turned into the fucking villain in this whole debate against her because some of them are acting like assholes. Some people have sent threats to her. Some people have said things like, we're going to rape you. And those people are fucking morons. These are the ways that you should not address points. You don't threaten people. You don't tell them that you're going to rape them. That's not how you do it. And the problem now is that those people are getting bunched in with people like me who want to actually engage in this discussion and want to have this debate about tropes versus women in video games, which could be an interesting discussion, but it's so fucked at this stage that expressing an opinion on this issue basically gets you branded as a misogynist or a sexist, when in reality, you just want to have a proper fucking debate. She makes a video series called Tropes versus Women in Video Games. Now, this could be good. This could have been good if it was actually well written and had valid points. But unfortunately, the things she says are retarded. And it's basically a bunch of double standards where when a woman is like an object in the game or an NPC, they're objectified. But when a woman is the main character, they're also objectified because they look too good. But if it's the other way around, no, the men are actually characters when you play as them and they're not objects, which is complete bullshit. It's all bullshit, and I don't want to get into detail in it. But basically, everybody's on her side. She had to move out of her house because of a bunch of threats she got, which prompted Josh Whedon, who I actually liked before, to get on her side. And now we've got a bunch of developers who are telling gamers to end the hate, and that we're too hateful. And a bunch of developers signed this. 343 Industries, Bungie, fucking... I can't even list them all. There was tons of them. Look, I get what you mean, and in some regard, gamers do need to end the hate in terms of the racism and sexism online, but let's get real for a minute here. Do you actually wonder why gamers are mad at you all the time? Do you seriously sit there thinking, why are gamers so angry at publishers and developers? Let's spend a second pondering this. The video game industry is complete shit. It is the worst entertainment industry in terms of the consumers. The music industry is bad, but the video game industry is out to fuck gamers every step of the way. And now that the internet has become more prominent and we look at websites like IGN and GameSpot with more of a skeptical eye, we aren't stupid anymore. We know when you're trying to fuck us. And then you wonder why gamers are so angry when every single day it's like, oh, here's more new bullshit DLC. Here's more fucking map packs. Less content, more money. And then you wonder why gamers are fucking angry about everything. And then you're like, oh, just calm down, stop getting so angry. Are you fucking serious? Do you not actually see why gamers are so angry all the time? Now, the racism and the sexism needs to go away. It does. But the reality of it is that like 95% of gamers aren't like that. But the problem is that you look at the vocal minority and then you're like, oh, all gamers are assholes. And then you make all of us look like pricks. And then you wonder why we get more angry. You're adding fuel to the fucking fire. And then IGN deleting comments. That didn't help at all. Why would you delete the comments? It just makes people get angrier at you, and it makes your reputation worse. And it makes people not even listen to the points that you made in your shitty article, and will just disagree with you for the sake of disagreeing with you. Should they do that? Not really. They should disagree with you with the bullshit you said in your article. But it's just such a fucked up situation, and it really needs to stop. And I mean it from both sides, alright? This just has to fucking stop. Developers and publishers and games journalists should stop treating gamers like shit, and should stop treating us like we're fucking children and that we don't know anything. You need to stop doing that. But then the same thing applies, is that there are these people who need to stop acting like assholes and then sending threats to people that they don't like. Will that ever stop? No, because it's the internet and people act like dicks on the internet. That's just how it is. But this whole situation's probably never gonna blow over, honestly. I mean, I don't even know what the point is of even talking about it. It's a fucking lost cause. So let's move on. So the Xbox One launched in Japan a couple of days ago, and it was a fucking disaster. Shops were barren, and basically very few Xbox Ones were sold in Japan. Is this surprising to me? No way. This is the reason why the Xbox One failed in Japan. The Xbox has never been successful in Japan, but you gotta understand that when it comes to the Japanese market, you need to make games that appeal to the Japanese market. Western games don't really sell that well in Japanese markets. That's just the way it is. I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive, but a lot of Japanese people don't really like to play Western games. That's not all of them. I'm not going to say it's all of them, but just look at the sales of a Western game over there and just compare them to a Japanese game there. They're just not the same. And this is the biggest problem with the Xbox brand, is that you've got very few IPs that actually appeal to the Japanese market. I mean, obviously Nintendo does well in Japan because most of their games appeal to the Japanese market. Sony does well because they have Western games and because they have the Japanese IPs. What does Microsoft have? Microsoft has stuff like Halo, Gears of War, shit that just does not appeal to them at all. And then you launch a console there with no Japanese games, and then you're like, huh, why isn't this selling well? Huh? I don't get it. Are you fucking serious? Are you not using your brain? I mean, look at even the PS4. The PS4 had a decent launch in Japan, and they didn't even have many games that were Japanese-oriented, but they've got them coming down the road. I mean, you can just look at the Tokyo Game Show, which Microsoft, you should have been there. You were launching the Xbox One, and you didn't go to the Tokyo Game Show? What were you thinking? I mean, seriously, that would have done a huge number for your sales. But the thing you need to do is you need to look at some of the Sony games that are coming out there, like Persona 5, exclusive to the PlayStation 4 and PS3. So, I mean, when you've got an Xbox competing with a PlayStation that has the more mature Japanese games, and Nintendo that just has all the Japanese games, and then you're like, why isn't our console selling? Come on, man, use your brains. That's it for System Update this week. I'm Fringy, and as always, have a good one.